Philippe Roger here, co-owner of Pro Play Games. Here at PPG, we're constantly doing stuff to try to bring you more content and bring you more DBS deck techs and more coverage for you. And we're happy to announce our affiliation with dbsdecks.com. DBS Decks, the guys over there, Mark specifically, are working very hard to compile a list of all the top decks from all of the events across the nation. And there you can see even cards played on a percentage base within the archetype. So it's a great website. We encourage you to go and use that. So go ahead and check it out, dbs-decks.com, and check out Pro Play Games for all your DBS needs. Stay pro.
What is up? We're back, guys, with round two, and we saw the comments, we saw the requests. Set 3 leaders only. We'll try our best.
We got this.
For this one, we found a set 3 leader, which is actually 1-0. It's something really interesting. It is the Dr. Myuu scheming. So it's people compare them to gadgets.
It's gadgets
from Yu-Gi-Oh. Just play a dude, search a dude, that dude searches another dude, that dude searches
overlay into big dude,
overlay into big dude, and kill you. Which is actually a really unique deck. Peter was playing it. He was playtesting with it. I don't know if he actually chose that deck. He's declined any stream matches until the finals, so we're gonna try our best to put him on stream whenever he gets into the top cut. But for now, we have a local player, Carlos Ortega. He just picked up the game not too long ago, and he's actually going with this brand new deck, and it's Dr. Myuu. I don't know how much testing he has with it, but it's a very interesting deck, really fun deck, and he's going to be playing against Brandon
Del Castillo.
Another local.
And he's playing Mecha Frieza green-blue variant. So he's running the Kales, he's running the Kabas, and he is running the Khalifa.
Nice. So we're going to see a Mecha Frieza deck with the, what are they called? Universe 6.
Universe 6.
So Universe 6 team with Mecha Frieza on team, and we're going to see how that plays out. That's something really interesting that these guys were playing. So we're going to get over to the match, and it looks like they're going to be starting soon. We readjusted the life a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let us know if there's anything else that we need to adjust. We also tried fixing the glare. It looks like that issue has gotten a lot better now. Before we couldn't see Vegeta's leader, and now I think they're ready to go. Looks like they're gonna start it off with a friendly handshake, and we see the Sigma. I think it's called the Sigma.
The Sigma.
Sigma?
Sigma.
We got the Sigma down, so that's the big piece. That's the final piece to Carlos's deck. One of the final pieces. Yep. The other one is General Brildo. Metarildo. That is the other piece that he wants to get to. This is the finishing blow that the deck wants to get to. So I'm gonna run down this this Triple Union Super Sigma is what it's called. It's a new card from Cross Worlds. Double strike. Activate main. Place this card in your drop area. Draw 2 cards. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It loses negative 10,000 power for the duration of a turn. Now, negative 10,000, negative anything is brand new. This is something that did not exist set 1 or set 2. This is one of the new mechanics that you're going to be seeing a lot of, and all these machine mutants pretty much go and utilize this ability, especially that Planet M2 that Carlos just played on the board. That Planet M2 also, I believe, gives minus 5,000, and it's something that's going to be really interesting to see, because if you give minus 10,000 to a card that is 10,000 power,
dies.
It's dead.
It's destroyed by game mechanic, and interestingly enough, that also matters with indestructible cards. So indestructible cards, if they reach 0, they're destroyed by game mechanic and not by actual skill.
Just like Magic the Gathering, so fantastic mechanic that Bandai has chosen to implement on this set, and really takes over the mechanics that you see in a very successful game in Magic as well. So really love that they actually introduced a negative mechanic, and it's going to be something that Carlos is going to utilize to win this game.
What's terrifying too is if they put that negative on your leader, not only are you gonna have to combo up just to get to 0, you have to combo over. So if they knock you down to negative 15, you then gotta combo the 30 just to get back to 15.
Brandon's at 4.
So he just did the snap Mecha Frieza play. Let me go all the way down, awaken turn 1. Yep. And that's why Mecha Frieza is such a hard deck to play against. And honestly, I hate to say it, but the whole format's going to be dominated by this deck, unfortunately. And Bandai has even come out and made a statement. They're like, we've heard you guys, but right now it's just on the watch list. Prove it to us. So that's what we're here to do.
We're here to prove that Mecha Frieza does need some type of adjustment, whether it be an errata or a ban. Something that we would like to see, and we're going to see hopefully come into play now. We're going to just profile the deck, see how it does against better decks. We're going to wait till like the end, maybe like round 4 or 5 to start getting on those to see exactly how they do against maybe the top tier players. But we got a very big sample size here. We got 100+ players, and we got the best players in the entire world.
Yep.
There's no one better.
Top 5 on the charts too.
No one better here.
So interestingly enough, he's gonna go ahead and Brandon's gonna go ahead and play out the Kaba. Search top 10, hits a Khalifa. Khalifa comes out, burns himself down to 3. So now currently Brandon's at 3. That in itself scares me. That's turn 1. He's at 3 life. He's awakened. Just it's hard.
I don't know why everyone is just choosing to play the Khalifa off the Kaba. I understand you can. It's not mandatory. I read the card because I was just like, maybe
you can add it to hand.
You know, you
have to play it, but at the same time, it's kind of you wanting to, you know, get yourself down. And I'm getting made fun of for my squeaky voice, but that's fine. You guys love my squeaky voice. Don't even act.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of just going from 4 to 3 like I am if my opponent's like being aggressive on me. And that's why I want to save it, because you could only spare that 1-2 life. When you're at 4, you only got 2 life to spare, and you don't even want to get rid of that 3rd life. That 3rd life is critical, because your opponent can just go, boom, further instruction Champa, game over. So it's something very, very risky that these players are doing, but it does give you an additional offensive threat in Khalifa, which is 20k for 2 energy, which is wild.
And as I said last round, you know, you get multiple Kabas out, things start becoming free. So, you know, free kill pretty good. Free kill pretty good, and especially since, you know, well, actually it might be pretty bad in this situation, because Carlos wants his gadgets or his machine mutants. I'm sorry. He wants his machine mutants in the grave so that when he does get to Metal Rildo, or he gets to General Rildo, he has the ability to Union Absorb. The Union Absorb for Rildo is extremely heavy. You have to have all of the pieces, and they all have to be in your grave because it takes them from grave, similar to how you see Android 13 does with 14 and 15, but you gotta have all the babies to get to the big card. And, you know, again, we're seeing Brandon play Mecha Frieza, so Bloodlust also a thing.
Very also yeah, especially on all those power cards that Carlos is trying to dedicate so many resources to. You're gonna see that Bloodlust really set Carlos back. Carlos still sitting pretty healthy now at 6, going from 7 to 6. But that Rildo card that we're talking about, General Evolved Hyper Meta Rildo, a brand new card for Cross Worlds. It's got double strike. When you play this card, auto ability, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they lose minus 10,000 for the duration of the turn. Auto, when this card attacks, choose one up to your opponent, one of your opponent's battle cards with 10,000 or less power, and KO that card. That is insane paired with the planet M2, because if you have your opponent's card up to 15, then you can easily just drop it down by 10 on the Meta Rildo, and then another 5 on the planet, so you can just pretty much kill any 15 if you like. But what's significant is that everything is minus 10,000 for the whole turn.
Exactly. And you know, it's really going to get scary, because if he can bring up multiple threats that will minus your opponent's battle power, he could potentially wipe an entire board like that in 1 turn. So if his opponent has a Bloodlust, it's definitely going to be a Bloodlust target. But again, when you Union Absorb, you got to remember the new time windows. So it gets rough. It gets really rough for Mecha Frieza. And even though it is Mecha Frieza and it is a very, very powerful deck, we're seeing the green-blue variant, which is a little bit slower. And is that 3 Kabas on the board right now?
3 Kabas?
That looks like 3 Kabas on the board to me. That means now Kale's a 1-drop. Khalifa is free. Not that he's going to want to play Khalifa, because he's going to have 2. But
he's definitely not playing Khalifa, but yeah, that's significant because he can just play Kales and just go in on Carlos.
I like to play 1-drop Kale. How about you? 1-drop Kale seems pretty good.
Seems pretty good. So these Sigmas that he has down here, they all do different things. If your leader's Meta Rildo, choose up to 1 Ribbit, you know, so they all search each other.
BZ searches Ribbit. Ribbit searches the 3rd one, which offhand I can't remember his name, because let's be fair, who was GT? You know.
I do like GT for like some of its highlights, but I don't know. I don't remember these guys.
All right, we can't be friends then, Machado, because GT was. You know,
it was cool. It had exciting parts, you know. Super Saiyan 4 was cool.
That's about it. That's about it. But we're seeing a lot of the babies come out. We're seeing some of the, you know, everything searches everything in Carlos's deck. And currently, Brandon's still at 3. Carlos down to 5 life. So slowly but surely, we're going to start seeing Carlos start taking damage, trying to either, you know, beat his grave with pieces, so you'll see him combo with the other Sigma pieces to eventually go into Rildo. But at the same time, he can't take too much damage. Brandon's going to probably wait until he's able to make a big push before he allows Carlos to awaken. I do not believe there is anything. Does he run Kabbas? Does Carlos run Kabbas or anything like that
Carlos,
to ping himself?
Yeah, he does play one Kabba. This is round number 2, by the way. And Carlos just wants to awaken here. Carlos, oh, finally awakened.
Round
Flips,
2 of 7.
drops 2.
Finally getting that awaken.
It looks like here on the deck, he's playing a mono red deck. And he's splashing the Black and Gate times Judgment.
This is just a hard matchup. It's just a hard matchup, but Carlos is handling it very well. We're seeing Brandon being able to bring out all of his little pieces, getting his energy set up so he can eventually start dropping his bombs like the big Go tanks. Looking through here, it looks like that might actually be the only big bomb in his deck.
Luckily, Brandon hasn't played a KO. Like, it's very lucky for Carlos because that KO would be critting Carlos's life and be knocking out his board. But thankfully, Brandon's only threat right now is that Khalifa. So it's looking pretty good for Carlos if he can get his whole combo online. And a Bloodlust.
There's the Bloodlust.
There's a Bloodlust. The Bloodlust. Did he take? Oh no, he tapped a Planet Vegeta, which he had in energy.
So it looks like he was gonna Union Absorb or pay something big. I can't really tell. Sigma's. What's the last card?
No, it's a Meta Rildo.
Is it Meta Rildo?
Yeah, it's a Meta Rildo.
So yeah, he goes ahead and Bloodlust and Meta Rildo.
Okay. So he's just hard casting the Meta Rildo.
Smart play. Because all those Kabbas would be dead instantly because they're 10k.
Yep. So that would have been a huge board swing for Carlos, and then being able to attack and then drop that Khalifa down to 10, and then he could actually just go after the Khalifa or go after Brandon's.
Brandon having triple Bloodlust in hand right now. So he had all 4 Bloodlust. He's got 1 negate, looks like.
You see Brandon playing that bean.
Trying to combo out to save his life.
Comboing out, yep. His life is precious now. You don't want to go down to 2, especially if you see your opponent across from you is playing mono red.
Red's scary color. Red's always been a scary color. We knew that it was going to be kind of a burn color from set 1, so giving it the ability to minus your opponent's battle cards is pretty significant. But again, Brandon was not about to let Carlos kill half of his board. Well, actually, I guess that's what, a fourth or 3/4 of his board, 75% of his board. We see Time Patrol Trunk coming out. All of us are familiar with this card by now. It's Overwhelm 3, so you warp 3 cards, bring it out, search the top 2 of your deck, add 1 to hand, place the second card either on the top or the bottom of the deck. Great card. It's a great card. I love this card. And we're going to see the Mecha Frieza swinging in to the leader, and Carlos is going to go ahead and go down to 3 life. Snap taking it. Just snap taking that. Now we're seeing the Khalifa swing in.
Khalifa at 20 now. Carlos is not going to want to take his last life. He's going to combo. Yep.
And he goes ahead and over combos up to 25.
Alright, looks like a Time Patrol Trunks going in, forcing another card from Carlos. Carlos is going to take this. Carlos
Snap taking some of these hits.
He's snap taking. He's like, I know what I want to do. I know exactly how low I can get. And for Brandon's deck, you don't really see... I don't think he has access to any double strikers whatsoever. Does he?
Double strikers doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it.
Does he have any Mass
Mass
Saiyans,
Saiyan, that's it. It just looks like Mass Saiyan. 2.
2 Mass Saiyans.
Oh, and Go Tanks. 4 Go Tanks. Super Go Tanks. So that's pretty much it. Those are his bombs. Other than that, you know, you've got the KLs. He runs the Shugesh and the Explosive Spirit combo. Which anybody who knows that, you know, it's literally just going to kill the card.
So Carlos here casting a Fearless Pan. Let's see here. Carlos has a pretty decent amount of cards in hand, actually. Doesn't look too bad. He's going to play Dr. Myuu. He's going to look at the top 3. Try to fetch out some more Machine Mutants, which I believe he can search any Machine Mutant with that card.
And he's coming out with the pan. He's gonna bring out the pan, give everything plus 5k and everything double strike.
So he can get any machine mutant or baby. So it doesn't have any restrictions, kind of like you see with other cards where it's like 15k or less or 10k or less or etc. etc. This is just has to be the character trait, machine mutant or baby. Which I don't think baby a playable card right now as of yet. I think it's just a promo, and you're gonna be able to get those tournament packs today actually for the first time at all local participating game stores. So get yourself out there, go play some DBS today, and get those brand new tournament pack promos because they are the highest price that you'll see them at this very moment.
Absolutely, and we actually put the restriction, none of those on there because not everybody can get those, and nobody's been playing in this tournament today. On top of that, we're handing them out, what, round 3?
Yep, you'll be getting them round 3 from us, and yeah, we prohibited them from use at this tournament because there were some corrupted local game stores which are now being investigated against for opening those tournament pack 3s before the official release, which was supposed to be today for those tournament packs. And some stores, you know, unfortunately not being able to listen to Bandai's agreement of not touching those tournament packs. Those are for the players, and that's something that is not good for the community. So they're going to make sure to get investigated against. And both lose their official sanctioning, but they're both at 2. They're both at 2. So
anybody's game right now.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Brandon's down to 1?
Brandon down to 1 life now.
Man. That's deadly.
He's that also. I don't see any yellows on his board. Oh no, he's got the one King Vegeta or Planet Vegeta.
Yeah,
so
but that's tapped out. So Carlos is
he's gonna negate and untap the yellow.
Ooh,
that is a lot of information to give your opponent as well.
Yep.
Because that tells you he doesn't have any more negates. He doesn't have any beans.
He can have a 10k combo, but he had this Bloodlust. Yep, and that was huge for him. Base Coercion showing his flexibility and its ability to just be able to just, oh man, and
Carlos looks like he's going
in. Looks like Carlos is going in, and he's dumping his hand. And Brandon, do you have
the Shugesh explosive Goku blade? Does he have it? There's the Shugesh, there's the Goku to kill the card swinging effectively.
Now, does this stop the attack from going through?
Yep.
Okay.
That attack's done. That card is no longer on the field. That card is dead.
Alright, so we're going to see Carlos either call over a judge to make sure, or this is just gonna resolve.
Card is dead. That's it. If I have to go out there, I will.
Yeah, they might. They're probably calling over Bella now for a ruling, and then they're going to see what's up.
Now, the Mecha player didn't pull a fast one. The Mecha player literally let him combo all in, and that's a scary thing that you gotta remember. You gotta remember about that now, and that's one thing that Mecha is ridiculous for. They added this new Goku that when you play it, it kills a card. It kills a tapped battle card, and if you just Shugesh in, because Shugesh lets you play a Saiyan, boom, drop Goku, kill the attacking card, battle stops right there, it's over, it's done with. He's now comboed his entire hand into it, and it's just ripperoni. GG at that point, because now he has no more hand, and his opponent has how many battle cards? Brandon with a lot of attacks right now. So it's just like, this is no bueno.
That's the deadly thing. That's the deadly thing with this against this Mecha Frieza deck. That Shugesh Kid Goku combo can just really offset what you're trying to do, and it can really just put a hindrance on you being able to go all out like that, because then you just get majorly punished on attacks like this.
Kills it. Kills it. It kills it. That's fine.
So, as we see, we got Abella making his ruling, and then both players appealing the decision. So we're going to see what happens here. We already had our head judge ruling here that it would kill the creature and the combat would go away. But they're going to get some final confirmation. Remember, guys, you are always entitled to an appeal. So you always want to make sure that sometimes the floor judges won't know as much as the head judge, and you always want to make sure that the ruling is correct in your favor, especially when it's something critical and it's something that's really going to affect the board state like this. So it looks like they got their final ruling at this point. Carlos's battle has ended, and Brandon takes his turn and plays a huge Sun Gotenks. And now it looks like Carlos exhausting all his resources might just
so Gotenks is in the Sun. San is on Goten and Gohan and Goku. he is half Trunks, so he is just a Gotenks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Learn your lore. Learn your
true.
lore. But I went over there and I verified for Carlos. Good on Carlos for appealing that, though, just in case. Guys, always remember, at any of these big events, you have the opportunity to appeal a ruling if you do not agree with it. But at the end of the day, the head judge's rule is final, and I am the head judge at this event. So I went out there and I told him and, explained the situation. And of course, Carlos, being the player he is, understood and was just like, yep, that's it. So we're going to go ahead and scoop over, start heading over to us so that we can talk a little bit to you guys as we head on into Game 2. And I was a little bit surprised at first, but then again, I forgot about the Shugesh play at first and was like, oh, he's going in, this is it.
Yeah,
he beat Mega Frieza, and he's like, yeah, just kidding, Shugesh Goku.
It is pretty frustrating to stare down at the opponent, but when your opponent's playing a yellow leader, you just got to see that coming now. It's just going to be something that you just really look at. Like at the beginning when we saw TN come out and we were playing around that, we would always put our opponent at like an odd number. That way that
put them at 7, that way they have to go down to 3.
That way they have to go down to 3 with TN instead of going down to 4, which is a more favorable number. This is the same exact thing. It's just all about adaptations, exactly knowing how cards work and being able to just adapt and just be able to know what they can do and what they can't do, because there's some things that they can't do and there's some things that they can do. So you just got to be able to approach combat in a different way against different decks, and it's always been like that. There's some decks that you can be hyper aggressive against, there's some decks that you can't be as aggressive, and you just got to be a little bit more conservative. This is one of those decks that you have to be conservative against.
It's extremely scary too, because Explosive Spirits on Goku, which I have nicknamed Baby Ku, he's Baby Ku, that play, unless you're playing Bloodlust, you have no answer to that. So literally, they Shugesh, you Bloodlust, but guess what? The second Shugesh go to the Goku anyways. That is extremely, extremely difficult to play around. And in playtesting, I played this deck a lot online. And in the mirror, it's just like, alright, well, Bloodlust. Alright, cool, battering. Alright, cool, battering, you're battering on Bloodlust. Alright, well, I guess I'll battering the battering on your Bloodlust on the Shugesh. Okay, cool. Drop second Shugesh. You're just like, you got me. You got me. I don't know what you want from me at this point. Like, you win.
It's pretty insane. So there's going to be a lot of mind games, especially with these two cards. Shugesh and Explosive Sun Goku are cards that you really need to just expect at all times at this time, especially if you're playing a yellow leader. There's actually almost like zero reason to not play them. I've seen decks that don't even incorporate yellow, and they're just playing the Shugesh Explosive Sun Goku combo because their leader's yellow, and they're trying to exploit that combo.
That needs to be fixed too.
It's just so powerful.
That needs to say Saiyan leader. Like, I understand it.
It might say Saiyan leader.
It might say Saiyan leader. It needs to.
I don't think it needs to at this point. That's something that, Bandai is going to take things one at a time. I think the only prioritizing issue here is the Mecha Frieza leader. That is the issue that needs to be addressed. Other than that, we can see how things play out. I don't think it's something that is just like totally oppressive. It's just something that takes adaptation to, just like you can adapt to other things. You just got to be able to like combat very effectively. At the same time, they can't do that combo against your leader swing. What are they going to do? Kill your leader? You can't.
True.
So there's ways around it. Obviously, you'll probably see a lot more Champas in the main board because of that. Because now you could go all in. If your opponent had 2, you attack with your leader on lethal, and then you Champa that. They have no response whatsoever. They can go and play Shugesh for a 10k combo, like any 10k combo, and then that's pretty much over for them. So you just got to approach combat a little bit differently there. Mecha Frieza is something like, if you play across from a Mecha Frieza, you can't really do anything, about it. You're just like, okay, I hope they're not playing combo.
Most of you have fair warning against it too, because Mecha Frieza, Yellow Leaves right now playing Planet Vegeta. If they search the Shugesh, or if they search Shugesh, you know what they're going for. They might have the other piece in it. If they don't search the Shugesh, for sure, Snap, just don't attack, because that means that they're gonna go into the Goku next.
Or it's not attack, just you can attack in sometimes. Obviously, there's times where you don't want to attack. Obviously, you want to keep the card on board, but it's just gonna be there. Sometimes you just gotta bait it out. It's like, all right, cool, you're gonna use it. Let me make you use it on something that I don't want you to use it on, or something not as effective, and then play my bomb and then attack you. So we're going into round 2 now. Looks like our opponent. Sorry,
we're in round 2
of round 2
of 7.
And we're going to go back to the match. It looks like they're ready sideboarding. And once again, shout out to all the players that came out 100+. And shout out to all our viewers. I think we're at 107. 112 actually on this one.
More than we got here.
More head. And yeah, more players that we have here. And shout outs to Ultra Pro and DBS Techs. Check them out. We'll go to the round right now. Thank you guys again for watching. And we'll see what comes up in these sideboards. It looks like Carlos is really going with a blue sideboard. A whole blue sideboard. It looks like he has Group Leader Pilaf. to stop the some of the combo pieces, the triple strike and all those things that you see in the Goku turn 2 deck. And then you have Mufuba, which is also fantastic against that deck. He's got Zenobun, which can help with the Mufuba and the group leader peel off when he taps out and his opponent doesn't see it coming. It's also a blue energy because he has no blue energy in this whole deck, minus the sideboard. And then he's got Courageous Heart Yajirobe.
Love this card.
It's also going to be very good against that deck because that deck just relies on swinging.
His has popping power though.
Yeah.
The Goku deck doesn't have any popping power.
No popping power.
Yajirobe, phenomenal in that matchup. But in this matchup, gonna be a little bit harder because he does have KO.
Maybe we see some Dosans coming out of the main board just to stop that for the combo deck, but we'll see later in the rounds what our players are brewing for the mirror match, because the mirror match and decks that are suited to beat this deck, they might have a tougher time. Just like Bandai addressed, there are decks that can beat this, apparently, that you can just, tune your deck against. And we'll see if those are going to have any success this event. We'll see how many people are actually on this combo deck, because we haven't seen it that far, and when I looked out on the field, there was a few. There was not everyone. Not everyone on PPG is playing the deck. Not everyone on PPG is playing the deck. I know Peter's not playing it. I know Ali's not playing it. I know David's not playing it. I know Justin and a few others are playing it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out here. But going into game 2, I don't know. What do you do as Carlos?
Well, for Carlos, you got to try and get that Yajirobe out immediately, but again, it's just not going to matter. You want to try and dig for your Mafubas, because let me look at this, he doesn't run Battering Laser, so he's got no counter to Mafuba. So you wait until you have the big plays, and you Mafuba. It's just a rough matchup, it really is. He plays the Zeno button, so he's going to get his untap and everything on his blues. Not running a whole lot of blues, though. So, looking at Brandon's sideboard, 3 King Vegeta Surprise Attack, 2 Father Son Kamehameha, 3 Flying Nimbus, 3 Crusher Ball, and 3 Destructive Occupation Frieza. It's going to be a very, very, very rough matchup. We see Brandon going down to 6 life immediately, doing Mecha Frieza things, trying to get as much advantage as quickly as possible so that he can start getting his bigger cards out. And since he is running the green variant, it is going to take a little bit of time. I don't see objection in his main board either, so he just kind of has to try and tough it out to get there. We're going to start seeing, we see Myuu coming out to search, and it's just, this match will probably play out a lot like last game, where we're going to see a lot of cards on Carlos's field. Potentially, triple to quad Kaba on Brandon's field, going into Khalifa. Both these decks, pretty much that's their main plays. Carlos wants to get the babies out as quick as possible so he can get them in his drop so that he can go into Big Rildo and into Sigma and into the other Unabsorb cards. Whereas Brandon's big play is he wants to get as many Kales on board as possible so that he can eventually start swinging in for damage and drawing. Brandon eventually going to start, eroding his hand if he gets multiple Kabas out, because he's going to be dropping multiple threats. The more threats you drop, the less hand you have, of course. So swinging in with those Kales, potentially to replenish your hand, is a very, very big important factor, as well as the critical being an important factor. I would like to see Carlos nuke a whole board, honestly. I want to see Carlos nuke an entire board with the minus 10,000. I think that'd be phenomenal. I think it'd be really cool to see, because that's like the big play for this Machine Mutant deck. And as he puts more babies on the board, that's a very big potential thing. If, for some reason Brandon doesn't get the Bloodlust, or charges the Bloodlust, because, a lot of, let's be fair, a lot of Mecha Frieza players will charge at least one Bloodlust.
At least one to have the yellow. You always want to have one yellow up. You don't always want to pay that life, especially when it gets a little bit later in the game. Brandon in that game 1 had a few, so he could have actually just charged one. He charged a Planet Vegeta.
He had all of them.
Yeah.
He had all of them.
Exactly. He could have maybe just charged one, but you saw the critical point where Carlos got bloodlusted because Brandon did an excellent play on when he had a yellow up. I mean, a blue up. He Whisk Squish and send the yellow back up, which is not very, you don't see people do that a lot of times. I mean, it's a hard read and a hard telegraph on what you have, but I don't know. If you're Brandon, you could have just played while your opponent doesn't have a yellow up, don't give him an opportunity like that and attack first. You want to play your creature first, then do it. Unless you're attacking something that you need to attack with, to play an Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and then or an Unyielding, the one that untaps a blue, or any energy, I think. Any energy? No, or blue?
Any energy.
Any energy. So you could, you don't want to give your opponent a chance to do that and be like, okay, attack, play this, untap card. You just want to be able to just do what you can do in the moment that you can, because your opponent can't respond or do anything to manipulate their energy in a way that you're just going to stop your play. So something that Carlos probably has in the back of his mind, as well as his Shugas play. So we'll see how he can play around that. If he's going to be a little bit more conservative, which he might have to be, which might let him get to his end game. We'll see.
Carlos doing the smart play too. Against Mecha Frieza, you want to try and hit him for as much damage as possible so that they can't utilize their skill.
Exactly.
The only downside of that is, yeah, you're giving them a bunch of cards, but, you know, at the same time, they're still going to get a bunch of cards if they do the exact same thing. Like, if they sit there and they do all of their effects, they're going to end up with a lot of cards in hand. So it's more productive for you as the non-Mecha, or as the opponent, to try and push Mecha Frieza as much as possible to eliminate their ability to, you know, get free stuff off.
So yeah, Kaba is top 10, I believe, but you can go and choose to stop at 7 or 5 or 3 or 6. I mean, like, whatever you want, depending on like what you hit. Obviously, the most optimal thing is just always look at top 10. But sometimes these players, they'll get, you know, they get the card that they actually wanted off it, and then just be like, okay, cool.
I just noticed he played a Legic. Legic is Cyber Dragon for Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's if your opponent has a battle card and you don't, you can summon this card for free, and he's a blocker.
Sweet.
So
that's going to be actually really good against the combo deck. Not essentially Brandon's deck. I don't know if it's going to be as good. I mean, you don't want to keep too many cards on board. Like, that Kale's just going to rip them apart. So, not sure how much I like it in this deck. I really like it in Pan, though. It kind of lets you draw a card off of it. So
that's true. Pan is a very, very significant leader. And if Mecha Frieza gets eliminated from the meta, it becomes an open field. It becomes anybody's ball game. You know, any deck can start doing well. So like the Pan leader, the Kid Goku leader, Bardock leader, Super Saiyan 3 Goku leader, they all become significantly better. We see Brandon going down to 3 life and Carlos going down to 5 life. So it's like, this game is shaping out a lot like last time, where Brand got down to 3 and then started slowly chipping away at Carlos.
Yep. So you're gonna see exactly how this plays out for Carlos. He might just get left at 5 until Brandon stabilizes a little bit, which is usually what you want to do, but it looks like Brandon's just going in now because he has Kales and they have critical.
Double kills. Double kills, double Kaba, so those kills came out for 2.
I don't think Brandon's drawing a card off this Kale.
It's hard to tell his hand, but I'm sure he has a small book right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand.
Yep, 9 or 10.
9 to 10 cards in hand, so there's going to be no draws off Kale, but that's still a 20k critical swinging in my face. Yep. Still a 20k critical, and since he had Khalifa up on board, he's not losing anything. He was able to clear Carlos's field, which very, very significant. Very significant. But again, now Carlos has the babies, and Carlos going down to 4 life now, or down to 3 life now, taking that snap hit off of the Khalifa. So both players currently sitting at 3 life.
Carlos just wanting to get a card off an attack. He hasn't gotten a card off an attack since those Kales hit the board. So critical playing a huge part in here, leaving Carlos without cards. And now you see Carlos about to, has he awakened? Yeah, he did awaken. So he has a few more cards in hand. And he is at 3. We'll see.
This is definitely an interesting match, and that's why we picked it. We picked it because we wanted to see a real match, you know, not just an instant blowout.
I really wanted to see this Dr. Myuu deck in action. It's actually not disappointing, actually. Like, he's been able to do most of his plays. This game's a little bit harder for him because he did not start off with the Planet M2. And the Planet M2 just saves you. It's just essentially like a Senzu Bean, almost
a permanent Senzu Bean.
Yeah, permanent Senzu Bean every turn. So, that's really good. Soch, why are you making your voice so deep?
I'm not. It's the microphone, I swear. I sound different on a Yeti.
I don't think anybody's playing it right now. I've been playing with it right now, so that might be weird. So let's see what Carlos plans to do. Oh, a Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Oof. And you don't see this card very much
anymore,
like daily. Yeah, there's a pan now that almost does the same thing. It looks like he has one pan, so maybe just maybe he just didn't have another pan. It's very hard to get. Obviously, this is release weekend. Everybody wants the hot cards. Pan definitely in that top 5 of most wanted super rares in this entire set. So maybe he's just using it as a replacement. But Goku's still gonna see a little bit of play in Vegito decks, just like Peter Katani's that we put up not too long ago. And it's just something really interesting for sure. And it might just be a replacement, or it might just be better in this position. But we'll see Carlos go in here. He just wants to be able to attack. You're going to see the explosive, Sugash combo, I guess we can call it, the explosive Sugash, right?
The baby coup combo.
Expansion.
The baby coup combo. It's baby coup.
No. Explosive
baby coup.
Sugash.
Baby coup.
Because it's actually in names.
He's baby coup.
But it's just insane. It's good because I don't think Carlos dedicated too much to that attack. But Brandon was able to have a removal spell on his opponent's turn, which is not something that it's not common in this game, and people are just gonna get used to that. People gotta get used to it, and like I said, play around it and see exactly what the deck can do and what it can't do, and you just gotta accept it's one of those things that it can do.
Carlos currently at 3. Carlos at 3. Brandon at 2 life now. We're starting to get to the nitty gritty. One thing that is important to note about the explosive spirits on Goku, he's a barrier blocker. He's a barrier blocker.
Oh, he's a barrier blocker.
So once he's on the board, he's pretty hard to deal with. He's pretty hard to deal with because your opponent's going to leave him there until you block with him, and you're just like, yeah, I guess, dude.
Brandon just going in now. He's got Kale, Khalifa, Kaba, Gotenks, Planet Vegeta.
Oof.
And Carlos has got nothing.
Oof. So that's the problem with a lot of these decks. If they go late game, blah, spurge all over the board, you know?
It doesn't look like Brandon has too many cards in hand, so it looks like he might be drawing. What does he have, 6? 5?
It's hard to tell. But Carlos going down to 2 life now, so it's 2-2. 2-2, but that's a lot of cards on the board, and Carlos does not have enough cards in hand to handle that. On top of that, he doesn't have, he doesn't have playing an M2 on the board, so his leader is going to be swinging for a certain amount. And we see Brandon going ahead and using resource to go ahead and pull 1 card to his hand, bring himself down to 1 life. And here comes the full-on combo play. Comboing literally everything into it. So it's Gotenks.
Brandon wants to take this opportunity to kill his opponent, so he's just going to go ahead and do it, especially when he has more cards and more resources.
I've already lost count, but I'm pretty sure that's over 100.
Yep.
And there's Concession.
And that is a Concession. And Brandon comes out on top of round 2. He is now 2-0 with his Mecha Frieza Universe. I keep forgetting. Universe 6?
6.
6.
Because we're 7. There are here, so there's 6.
Okay. Yeah, and they add up to 13. Okay, makes sense.
They don't.
I remember that part.
No, them adding up to 13 has nothing to do with it.
No, yeah, I think it does. I think they all add up to 13.
13 universes. There was 13 universes.
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with it, but whatever. Anyways, so we have Brandon at 2-0 with his Universe 6, led by Mecha Frieza, using the best out of that Planet Vegeta, being able to search every combo piece from Shigesh to Saiyan Kaba to pretty much anything that he just wants to do, and it's just insane because you have that combo also that he didn't actually play, that is Shigesh with Kale when you have a Kaba on board, so it's a 3-draw. So that's another thing that he could do. Like, if you thought that explosive Shigesh combo was a lot, like, that's even more insane. Like, you got a Kale coming off of Shigesh, and that can be very, very scary. So we're gonna see this deck and this little combo inherited in a bunch of different decks, and it's something that is just the best thing that Mecha has going for it. It's just the whipped cream on top of like the amazing sundae that you already have in front of you. It's just so good, and it's just something that is just, I don't know.
Because now I want ice cream.
I know, right? It is pretty hot, so I would take some ice cream as well. So, but
we gotta make somebody go get us ice cream.
It's just so good. It's just so good.
Somebody go get us ice cream? Is that a thing?
Obviously,
you have that power. You can make people do things.
Of course, I can make people do things. But do I want to do it for you? I'm not sure.
Wow! I swear, this man will sit here and eat an ice cream in front of me, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I guess.
I got it. Yep,
slowly creep over and just scoop.
But fantastic match. We saw a really interesting deck in Dr. Myuu. It did seem like it had a chance, especially game 1 if he didn't go and make that terrible misplay. But you saw it actually have, it has its plays, and I know Peter was playing something like this, and he really liked the deck as well. So maybe this isn't built in the most efficient way. Obviously, there's a lot of restrictions, like cards that just came out and not being able to get exactly the play sets or cards that you need to make this deck well, and not having enough playtesting time.
Well, it's not even that.
Playtesting time is like 2 days, So a lot of the time, people with this deck, like, they want to build something new, they want to play something new and refreshing, but they don't have too much time to exactly figure out the kinks and the combos and the, oh man, this can do this with this and blah, 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 blah. So I know Peter was playing this, He loved it, and I don't know if he actually took it to the event today. But he played for like multiple days. He played it for like 2 or 3 days.
The problem is this meta is extremely fast.
Yes.
And because it's so fast, a deck that needs a setup just can't handle it.
Yeah.
So like when you have a deck that can literally kill you turn 2, turn 3, sometimes even FTK you, what are you gonna do? You have a deck that needs a setup against a deck that's gonna kill you the first time it can, which is turn 1, turn 2. So if you have a deck that takes 2, 3, 4 turns to set up, you just won't be able to handle the meta. And unless you have certain cards in your board, you can't.
It could be pretty devastating. It could be devastating against that deck for sure. I know Peter played against it, and he was able to rob some games, but I think it was something like 20-80. Like, it was not in the favor of the deck. It is obviously one of the more fair decks that you can play. So sometimes people choose the latter and the more unfair deck. But that's why we're here today. We're here today to hopefully try to change something with Mega Frieza. So we'll see. A few more Mecha Friezas. It won't be the last time that we see it on stream. I was actually surprised that the first round didn't have any Mecha Friezas. It was a Vegeta versus a Cell. But we don't want to give it too much spotlight. But we will see in later rounds. Like I said, keep commenting down in the chat below. Like, we have the chat open. We listened to your suggestion for this round. We gave something from set 3. There was another option that I wanted to use. Somebody was playing the Blue Sun Goku.
I wanted to see it.
I wanted to see the Blue Sun Goku, but guess who his opponent was? Peter Katani, who didn't want to be on stream until later.
Why.
So I was just like, oh my god.
It's fair, it's fair. But guys, remember, if you're not following the channel, follow the channel. Click the little heart that's up in that direction.
Oh yeah,
I think it's in that direction.
Yeah, I don't even know about that stuff. So we're kind of new to Twitch. Do whatever.
I've been doing this forever.
PPG is
new.
You right. This one right here is new. So please just go follow the channel. We're trying to grow it. We're only streaming big events at this point. We're not doing like random streams yet. But we'll probably get into that later. But for now, we're just streaming big events. We will be expecting a lot of big announcements from Bandai, by the way. Bandai has been very good with working with us, ARG, and a few other stores about bringing something big to you guys. So we want to see the community grow. We're giving them feedback. They're giving us feedback. They like some things. They don't like some things. So they're a very good company to work with. I really hope that they're watching this stream, because this is one of the reasons why we put this on, just to show them the local community, well, at least the Southeast. You know, it's not a national community, because you have some of these events going on in other places as well. I want to say like one other one for sure. I don't know if there's any other super release tournaments scheduled for this weekend, but
there are a couple around the country.
I know they scheduled very few stores, most of them in California. I think like 5 or 6 stores in California got it. We're the only ones in the tri-state area, and then you have another one in the Midwest going on today, and then you'll have a few more next week, March 17th, and I think even onto March 24th. So you can see the participating locations on the DBS-Card Game website. That's where you can see all the big events that Bandai sponsors and actually picks the stores to represent them. And
shout out to all those stores that actually get to host these events. And, you know, shout out to PPG. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to break here so that we can go ahead and get our new, you know, our next match set up, so we can get out there and finish up this round. Guys, stay tuned, because we will be back for round 3. Tag us, guys, at ScotchTY, at ProPlayGamesLive. Tell us what you want to pull for this next thing. Guys, we will see you very shortly when the next round starts.
Peace.